What's up, everybody? Just a couple quick notes at the top. Thank you again so much for listening. The merch store is fully operational now. You want to show your support for Brennan Tassif is Your Ex-Drinking Buddy podcast. Go to brennantcomedy.com/merch store. We've got hats, we've got beanies, we've got shirts. Check it out. Also, subscribe on Patreon if you can. Patreon.com/Brennan Tassif. I really hope you enjoy the episode.
Grab me a beer and grab me a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brandon T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brandon Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brandon Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brandon Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brandon Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is Your Ex-Drinking Buddy. I'm your host, Brennan Tassif. Quick rundown of the show. If you are new to the show, I'm sober now, but one of my favorite things to do when I was out drinking, partying, and getting in trouble was to hang out with friends, talk shit, talk shop, reminisce about old stories about getting in trouble, doing drugs, partying, drinking. I'm going to be joined by a guest most weeks. This week is no different. Joined by graphic designer, musician, and comedian all the way from Orlando, Florida, Billy Myers. Full disclosure, we're doing this in front of an audience. First live podcast.
It makes it better because I don't want them to laugh, but I want them to laugh, like church laugh. They're just trying to keep quiet.
This is going to be fun. So, Billy, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. You are from Orlando. You do comedy.
Yeah, those are both things about me.
You did music before comedy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did that for a while. Yeah, I've been in bands since I was like 16 and toured a lot all over the country and signed a couple times and been in some magazines and
There you go.
done some things and that and a nickel and I'd have a nickel.
So how did you get in from music to comedy?
I was always the front man in bands I was in.
Fuck yeah, you were.
So I'm just used to dealing with the crowd, talking to the audience. So I like comedy. And I had done it a few times off and on before that. I had done because I went to middle school and high school with like Larry Fulford. And,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So like when he first started out, I would go to the mics where it's like him and like Alex Luchin and Nick Pupo.
Orlando comics.
Yeah. All the like OG dudes and Ross McCoy.
Yeah, I know Ross.
I would do it a handful of times then, and then I'd stopped for a while, and I just like entertaining people. That's really it. I have a horrible need for attention.
Don't we all?
And my mental illness allows me to find humor in dark spots, so it's something to get it out because therapy's expensive.
That's true. Therapy is very expensive. You did mention you toured all over the country.
I have done that.
Playing rock and roll?
Yeah.
Fuck
The
yeah.
last tour we went on was with Zach, actually.
Zach Bennett, friend of the show, been on here.
Bennett,
Godfather of
piece
Daytona comedy.
Shit. Fucking flea market ass mother. All right, we'll move on.
We're going through a time loop, even though we're all here together now.
Time isn't real. It's a man-made invention. That's factual.
But I did ask you guys to think of some of your most fun kind of stories. And now I'd assume someone coming off the road as much as you've been on it, you would have quite a few
I have a bunch.
tales of...
What kind of story do you want to hear, Brennan? There are some happy ones. There are some sad ones.
Let's go
There
sad.
are
I
some
like...
near-death ones.
Ooh, let's go near death. Let's do that first.
All right. Which one? All right. I hate the entire state of Arizona because I was stuck in Tucson for 5 fucking days.
Really?
Yeah. Our van set on fire.
What?
Yeah. We were traveling. We were supposed to hit up, like, we had to go through a series of bad shows because we knew this week of shows that we were approaching were all really well paying, fun gigs.
Okay.
You know?
So you had to do the shitty ones to get to the good ones.
Yeah. But our van set on fire while we were driving it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like we're in like Las Cruces or something. Like, and like some Mexican dudes just drove up, like total stereotype, like in the lowrider. They're just like, "Hey, essay, you're on fire." Okay, like just and drove off, and then So we tried to get as close to a city as we could.
How'd you put it out?
We didn't. We got to a point where we were pulled off, and we had called the nearest like AAA, place or whatever. We were like, we can get to you, but we can't go any further than that.
Yeah.
They were like, we're like a mile away. So we get off, and I am at this point like Die Hard style, like the van door is open.
Jesus.
And I'm just like throwing water on the tire.
So the tire was on
Every
fire.
couple feet. No, the fucking, like the drum or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know cars. But there was like a piece of like the axle, and there's a drum that's on fire. It's
Okay,
like
that's what's
leaking
on
onto
fire?
Yeah. So I'm just kind of like aiming for where I can see the fire, which is near the back tire, just throwing water on it. And they gave us wrong directions. They told us to turn a mile like left, and we should have. And I almost got our motto had been just like at that point, just like Burt fucking Reynolds, let's do this. It didn't make any sense to anybody but us, but it was how we kept alive.
Burt fucking Reynolds.
So we were at that point. We were just like, look, here's what we can do. We can like haul ass and like tuck and roll out of it. Tell them to get some fire extinguishers ready. We're just going to tuck and roll out of it once we pull into their parking lot. Or we can call a tow truck. And we were all like, tuck and roll. Like,
okay, yeah,
Burt
obviously.
fucking Reynolds.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
We're on a rock and roll tour.
I almost got
right.
a tattoo on my, like, a tramp stamp that was just like his hat and mustache.
Nothing else?
It was just, let's fucking do this.
Damn, so you almost died in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, so we had to stay there for 5 fucking days.
Oh, while they repaired the van?
It was like Labor Day weekend, and like it's a small ass town, so they didn't, like, nobody was open. They couldn't get the part. And so we kept getting stuck there for day after day after day after day.
Did you end up missing gigs because of it?
We had to cancel we ended up like we had to cancel obviously all 5 of those shows.
Yeah.
And then we had 2 others, and we decided instead to like cancel those 2 and then head straight up to like Boise, Idaho, because like there's another Boise. Like that was a weird correction.
Boise, Indiana.
Yeah, like Boise, New Jersey. Like we went up there because our label was having an event.
Okay.
So our label people would actually be there. So if we made it to that gig, we knew we'd make more than enough money.
Yeah, to get
back home. And we saw the Grand Canyon. There's actually a video on the internet somewhere of me because we kept breaking all the rules at the Grand Canyon and just climbing onto like cliffs and like the pointy parts that you're not supposed to. Well, we saw a Frenchman do it. And patriotism kicked in. It was like, not on my watch, frog. So we climbed out there. And there's a video somewhere on the YouTube where it's just me standing on the precipice of fucking disaster. Just like 10 toes out on the edge of it.
Right on the edge.
You will never feel smaller in your life.
God, that just gives me anxiety thinking about it.
It's great, dude. No, I totally understand. But also, it'll change your headspace. Just be like, I'm fucking. You are a speck of dust on a mountain, son.
We have people on here all the time talk about psychedelics and mushrooms, and LSD changes their perspective.
Yeah.
But standing on the precipice of the Grand Canyon,
Yeah.
that'll really change your perspective.
So will the mushrooms, though, and the acid. I like those things.
So you've done those?
Yeah, dude. You've probably seen me do a set tripping.
We actually, funny enough, just talked about this last week with our guest Andre, how he was unable to do a set tripping. He just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm 4 for 4 on it so far. Woo!
Last Wednesday I was tripping.
You told us, yes.
So I'm like 0.5 or 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was okay last week. It wasn't great.
I had hours.
Yeah.
And I wasn't host. Anyways, you got it.
See, that was like, you're going to have to edit that out.
I know.
That's going to be worthless.
I'm going to go back and fix it. Or I might just leave it in. This is the podcast.
Yeah, no, I've done a bunch of sets tripping at this point.
Did you used to get fucked up when you would perform when you were doing music?
No, well, okay. I didn't start doing drugs until I was in my 30s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I was in...
I find that fascinating. Didn't you say you were in band since you were like 16?
Yeah. Yeah, and I was straight edge for years.
Really?
Years and years. Yeah, I didn't start drinking until I was like, I don't know, 24 or 25.
That just seems that, I mean, obviously that's just crazy to me because I see you now, like at the Nog and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're always like, well, not we, but you guys are always drinking and smoking and partying and carrying on.
I don't drink, basically.
Okay.
These days. Every now and then, if it's celebratory or socially, like I might have a drink.
Okay.
But I don't drink, but I did.
Okay.
I did. We were, for years, we were touring and like you're talking 30 days on, like 2 weeks at home, 30 days on, like a week home,
Jeez.
45 days.
That's the dream though, right?
No, it's miserable. Touring, I tell, like, it's the worst, most horrible, shitty thing that you want to do every day.
Okay.
It's like you spend the whole tour wishing you were back home. You're like, Jesus, why are we doing this? This is fucking awful. I hate this. I want to go home. And then you get home and you're home for like 2 days. And you're like, why did we come back home? We were there.
We were doing it.
It's miserable, dude. It's but it's also like it's a life. You either like we went through band members.
Oh, really?
Pretty consistently because like it's not a thing everybody's capable of. You either like are really in or you're not. You do it once and you're like, "Oh, this is not
what I wanted."
Like this is not like just like limousines,
yeah,
and cocaine, and bus hookers and shit.
Bus hookers.
Like it's not that. It's fucking like real shitty punk rock, DIY shit. But it's how you make a life.
Yeah. So did you you said you didn't start drinking until like 24.
Yeah. I just didn't have an interest in it.
So when you were touring originally, from like doing bands and stuff, from 16 to 24, you just had no interest in getting fucked up or anything like that? Wow.
No, wasn't my thing. And then
what changed, if you don't mind my asking?
Nothing. I just one day just said like, all right, that's it.
Oh, wow.
It's not like a brilliant revelatory like.
There's no come to Jesus moment.
Yeah,
or anything?
no. I just was like, fuck it, man. We're here. We have nothing better to do. I'm just gonna drink. One time I got so drunk in Delaware, I drank beer because I don't drink beer.
Yeah, I'm saying.
When I do drink, I drink whiskey or fuck off.
Yeah.
But the band we were on tour with was like, come drink with us. And they drink beer. They are beer drinking dudes. And I got hammered
on beer.
and then tried to walk home from Delaware.
Where were you living at the time, Billy?
We were in Delaware. I was to Florida. To Florida. I was going to walk.
I knew what you meant. I wanted the listeners to make sure they understood.
You guys have all caught up? Have you pieced this together? I thought I could walk from some place in Delaware to Florida.
I mean,
And that when I got there, I would be in some sort of shape to go like hang out with my kids. Like, if I wasn't just like ragged, like just come here and play with me, children. Pops wants a hug.
what?
I didn't make it very far.
I was just about to.
I made it like 18 blocks. And then I had to call him, and I was freaking the fuck out. I was like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. So please, if you could just, I don't know where I am. It's somewhere
Aw.
still here. I'm still in Delaware. Like they didn't know.
Yeah, right. Like they thought you got further.
What do you mean you haven't made it past this state? You've been gone 30 minutes. But yeah, I drank a lot at that point.
Yeah.
I could drink like one of those 1.75, like the big fucking whiskey bottles, and still drive.
Damn.
Yeah. We were not a band as much as we were just paid alcoholics.
Okay.
And then after that band broke up, I moved to New Orleans. You can't exist in New Orleans without being
drinking.
a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah.
So alcohol just got expensive. So like I hit my like 30s and I was like, I've done this.
So 24 to 30, that's when you were.
Yeah, like I mean I still, like I said, like I'll
Yeah.
still drink. I don't like have any, I'm not drinking, you know, like
Yeah.
kind of things, but like
No, I get it, but you were just kind of like, this is.
it just, yeah, man, like how I've beaten the game. Like
Got to the end of the game, yeah.
So then I got into my 30s, like 32 or 33. And I was like, I need to see what all these drugs are about.
I was just about to ask,
It's
how did
just
you get into
checking off
drugs?
boxes, man. That's what life's about. You
Hell
got
yeah.
everybody nobody. The what if game is very fun when you're talking about the lottery.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It's not great when you're talking about life. Nobody dies going like, I wish I did less.
That's true.
So like, yeah, man, fuck it. Have an adventure.
I'm just marking the time. 'Cause
Oh,
I
nice.
think I'm going to use that for the clip.
Oh, that's fair.
That's very, very profound.
It's a real statement.
But what? Tell me about drugs.
But well, yeah.
Tell me about them.
Well, see, I had like my weaknesses, my vices were just, it was mostly just like women. I got in a lot of trouble with women.
Did you?
Oh, God damn it, dude. I have lived everybody's fantasy. Whatever your pornographic fantasy is, I have been disappointed by it.
Really?
Factual and accurate. Like, that was actually a thing when I first got into comedy. I've not talked much about, like...
Yeah, I've never heard you talk about it.
I don't, because, like, when I first started going to mics, I'd hear, like, these fucking nerds talking, like...
fucking nerds.
Yeah, no, straight up, they're fucking nerds, and they don't know how to talk to women. So it's like, yeah, this girl called me back, you know, the other day, so that's pretty exciting. And I'm like, oh yeah, man. Last week I played a house party and accidentally snorted meth that I thought was cocaine and ended up limp dick at a fucking orgy. There's no way that doesn't sound like bragging to them.
Yeah, that
Like,
statement
like-
is factual and accurate.
And I'm like, it just happened, and it wasn't great. It wasn't a fun
It's
time.
embarrassing.
Yeah, it really is. It's awkward.
I've been in
just-
not that situation, but I've been in a
been-
situation where you're like,
I've been in
there's
every...
a few people here, and I'm not performing well.
No, I've been there. I'm old. I don't care anymore. It's not happening today.
Just not gonna happen.
But like, yeah, no, I've made tons of bad decisions, like porn stars, burlesque dancers, strippers, fucking every bad decision you could make, dude. This is a bit I've been working on, and Blake has the best joke about, like, if the Democrats could attract the youth vote the way that I attract women with daddy issues, they'd never lose a fucking election.
Boom.
Like, never. They can't.
But they can't.
No, but like, yeah, dude, it's a fucking like. So
Well,
and
out of
that's a niche market of crazy.
Yeah,
You know?
it is.
So I've done wild shit.
What is your favorite out of all the different categories of people you've been with? What is your favorite?
No, they're all the same. It's a very
strippers, burlesque,
crazy,
porn stars, doesn't matter. Just
crazy women looking at a crazy man.
Yeah,
that's
what it is.
It's a real recognized real situation. Like, those women, they see me and they're like, that dude is spit in my mouth. That is for sure.
Yeah,
and they're right.
Yeah, you have those vibes.
Yeah, I get it. I don't like it. I don't like that. That's a first impression I make. So,
oh man. Well, tell me about how you got started into drugs.
But with drugs, that was it. I wanted to check off more boxes.
Okay.
'Cause I'd done a lot of crazy, weird sex shit. I drank all the drinks. Might as well check off some boxes. And I actually think it's a smarter move to start doing drugs later in life.
Okay, elaborate on that.
When you're young, nobody drinks properly.
That's true.
Nobody learns to drink properly or do drugs properly. It's the same,
Yeah.
mental disorders. It's nobody drinks properly or does drugs properly at 16 or 17 or 18 in your formative years, even into your 20s.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
agree.
greed and hedonism and
Yes,
just
it
pure, like, your id is just on the fucking loose.
Let's do it.
It's like, yes! It's the fucking hormone monster on that. What's that show?
God damn it, Nick Kroll show.
Yeah,
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth.
That's real. And but when you get older, you have enough like reason, because I have no prior experiences. I have no prior connections to it. I got smoked weed a couple times. I think I might have done shrooms once. Like,
Yeah.
but like not a lot. And I think when you get to a certain like age, you're just like, okay, all right, I want to try this. I can do this. But I also can be smart enough to go, you just do it tonight. We're going to have an adventure. We're hanging out with people. We're doing whatever the drug is. It's going to be great. And then we're not going to do that
Again,
for
tomorrow.
a while.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
a while.
You're not going to wake up and
right.
start doing it again.
You just have a periodic adventure, and you're emotionally like whatever, mentally capable of going like, yeah, that is the smart move. That is what, this is great, but we don't have to do this. We're treating ourselves. You know, and then you get all of the good and very little of the bad parts.
It's true. I never thought about it like that. But when I was doing drugs and drinking and stuff, I was still in those formative years. So it was just like, let's do it all as much as we can right now.
It's your first real taste of freedom.
Yeah, that's true.
That's everybody's first real taste of freedom, is those moments of like pure rebellion, of like getting fucked up.
Yeah.
And they have so many positive things associated with that, and their brain's still fucking figuring out how to wire itself. So like,
You end up romanticizing. all
yeah,
of
and
that.
then it's just bad shit. It's just, you
you end up like me, going to
see?
meetings.
I don't got to do that.
Yeah, because you waited. You were smart about it.
But now, and also like, because I'm an adult, like I know nothing that's happening. Like if I'm tripping or whatever, like,
Oh yeah,
that's not real.
It's not like
None of
SLC
this.
Punk where
Like,
you're like
yeah.
freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, like I'm cognitive enough to be like, I'm on drugs. Drugs make you, feel away, and then it's all positive.
Yeah,
It's just a good time.
you've cracked the code, my friend.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
I might have to put this episode before everyone else's and just retire.
Learn, everybody.
Yeah.
No, but so yeah, I really love psychedelics.
Okay.
Weed is just to like, I've been on a tolerance break for the last little bit, like last couple months. I've been like, because I was getting like, I was smoking too much weed.
Okay. And you were able to see that and kind of
yeah.
like,
So
all right.
I was like, I'm gonna chill out, and at this point, I'm just like, I'm fine. I'm just gonna get stoned, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, psychedelics are the shit. I've done coke a handful of times.
What was your take on coke? Because I've had this discussion with a few of my guests. Did you enjoy it, or did you not like the jittery feeling it gave you?
I mean, I'm boisterous and loud
Yeah,
to begin
me
with,
too.
so it doesn't really like. It's not like I'm not getting like suddenly more aggressive. Like that's ridiculous.
The only way
like,
people could tell when I was on coke was because I would grind my teeth, which is something I don't normally do. But as far as my volume, that's all the same.
That's all the same. So there's not really like, I don't know. It's fun. It's definitely a social drug.
Definitely.
Like, don't do that by yourself. If you're doing coke by yourself, go talk to somebody. Seriously, go right now.
Turn off the podcast.
Switch it to the Bluetooth in the car.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
then fucking get to like a therapy session. You're in woe.
If you're doing coke by yourself.
But like, it's a social drug, so like, you know, you're at a party, or you're at a bar, or you're at, you know, anything in Daytona. You're at a Waffle House.
You're in Daytona.
You just like,
it's hard because sometimes the syrup on the table makes it stick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's really, you got to decide how
bad you want it.
how moss you're trying to live. You willing to snort some pancake syrup with your cocaine?
That's Southern pride right there, baby.
Goddamn right.
Oh man. So
Put some molasses in that shit.
I want to hear more about these road stories because there's
Some of them I legally can't.
okay. You son of a bitch.
There is definitely some statute of limitations.
Well, because as we're all comics, we're all trying to come up, and one of the dreams is to tour doing comedy, and you've toured.
Yeah, not for comedy though.
But you
I've
have
not
toured
done-
the country doing music, which is a similar.
Yeah, I've
aspect.
spent most of my life in bars.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where I find it so fascinating because for all of us, that's where we're trying to get, but you've already had it.
Yeah.
So what is like some good? Let's hear some good, like one of the most fun nights when people
nights.
When people say, "Hey, Billy, what was being on the road like? How much
If
fun
you're trying
was
to
it?"
sell them, you're trying to
Yeah,
you were trying to give
sell 'em,
a
yeah.
positive spin.
Yeah.
Because most of my thing is trying to be discouraging.
I
Because
know
I don't
it is.
think
I'm the
it's
same
for
way.
most people.
I want to get into more negative ones after, but
okay,
give me your positive.
All right.
I'm waiting for I was hanging out with Mick Jagger. That is.
No, yeah. Yes, that Beyonce. Like, no. All right. What's a fun one? Okay. So this is a fun one for me. Probably not the rest of the people that were there. We had almost died in North Carolina that day.
Okay. Well, now you got to backtrack. How did you almost die in North Carolina?
It's real short and simple. We were going down the steepest incline in the East Coast. It's a 7%. Like, it's just straight
down, yeah.
And we were doing fine until other cars were starting to appear on the road. And then we have to do brakes and stuff. And they gave out.
Oh, God. As they do on a 7% incline.
As they're known to do, yes. And so we had to those things for semi trucks?
Yeah.
Like the exit, the runaway.
Oh,
things.
yeah.
We had to go down one of those.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And then a cop lady pulled our buddy Mike who was driving and doing the things. He had been asleep through all of this. And just it wasn't until we crashed into the dirt, piles that he was like, "What is happening? What the fuck?"
Wait,
man?"
Mike was driving and he was asleep?
No, I was driving.
Oh, okay.
So we crash, and then a cop lady drives by, and she's like, "Is everybody okay? Everything's cool? Good. Then you should probably move that fucking van right away because apparently there's a $250,000 fine
For you-
associated with hitting those runway ramps.
Holy
because that's
shit.
how much like they charge to like re-dirt those things or whatever." I could have been fed a load of shit, but
you moved.
we moved. So we had to deal with our brakes, and get those fixed, and the day goes on. It's not pleasant. And so we play this shithole place in Raleigh. Good crowd. And we're doing our thing. And we are so angry with the state of North Carolina for trying to kill us. Did we just get a knock?
We got a knock at the door. We're
It's
going
the
to
police.
stop it. That was not a police knock. We're moving vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to stop recording.
That's fine. What was I talking about?
Raleigh. Shithole of a
Oh
deal.
yeah, we're in Raleigh, and it's a shithole.
Is everything okay?
Good crowd. It's fine. But we hate North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so for the entirety of our set, we just keep wishing death upon.
Out loud to the
Yeah,
audience.
we're just like, fuck this state. Fuck North Carolina. Fuck your sports teams. Fuck your mountains. Fuck you guys. You are trying to kill us. You've been trying to kill us all day. I hope all of you get raped. Every last one of you. Some guy in the back yells, he's like, "I had a bad day too, man." Like they're like, because they're going nuts. I'm being a dick, and they're just like,
They love
yeah, like I'm spitting in their faces. This was back when you could spit in people's faces.
That's
It was a better time.
that's your positive story.
Yeah, so we're spitting in their faces. Our guitar player, he's cut open his hand at this point playing guitar. It was just a thing that happens sometimes.
Okay.
Like it wasn't but it wasn't like some Gigi Allen shit.
Yeah.
He just happened to cut his hand on like a saddle or something on the guitar. But he's like, "Fuck you!"
Just
Like,
throwing
he's
blood on
throwing
people?
blood, and they're just like, "Yeah!" That guy's like, "I had a bad day too, man." I'd been rambling about this in between like every song about how
Damn.
much I hate them. And that guy says that. I'm just like, that guy had a bad day too. Probably because he woke up and he realized he lives in fucking North Carolina. And then we left. Like, gave us a bunch of drugs. We did those drugs. And then we left the state of North Carolina.
Have you been back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plenty of times. We were there. We took Zach with us.
Oh yeah, when you guys did that tour.
That was a weird show too. Like none of these stories are exciting to other people.
Oh, I find them fascinating.
I just really like that night was fun because we that was us spitting in the face of death.
Yeah. What's some negative?
Oh God, they're all negative.
Yeah. I see that.
It was a blast, man. That's the thing about that show. Like that, it was a packed show. Those people,
Yeah.
like we made like $800 in merch sales that night.
Jeez.
Like, yeah, we were doing all right.
Well, I want to pivot. Speaking of merch sales, you designed my merch
Yeah,
because
I
you
did.
do graphic design.
I did do that.
You did do that.
I did that.
When did you get into graphic design?
Same time. Around the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Is when I got started in music. Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
okay. So
I
that's
hated,
something.
there were shitty flyers.
Yeah.
I got tired of seeing like a picture of Buddy Christ and like Comic Sans MS with some neon colored
Buddy Christ.
lettering. It was awful. I was like, I could do better
Yeah.
than that. And so I didn't. I didn't do better for years.
Well, because you're awesome at it now.
I'm all right. It has I make money. So
Yeah.
that's, I guess I'm competent. This is terrible. I'm not good at these parts of these kinds of things where like, but you're good at a thing. And I'm like, yeah,
I guess.
sure,
I gotta go. What's that over there?
run.
Just run away.
Run away.
Well, what do you prefer more? The like steadiness and the stability of doing graphic design, or the chaos of touring and doing music and comedy?
Well, I mean, part of the reason that I have this job now, that I'm able to do this, is because I didn't want a real job.
Yeah.
Like we were touring and doing all the things. I wanted something that I could like do anywhere. I've never really worked in an office or anything like that. It's all been like remote.
Okay.
Well before.
Yeah, all the remote stuff.
I was the head of graphic design for Fair Villa for like years. I don't know if
Really?
For like 3 or 4 years. 4 years, 5 years.
Really?
Something. Yeah.
That sounds like a big,
A while.
almost like hoity-toity corporate position.
Yeah,
I would not expect
never
to
went
see
into
you.
an office. I was the head of graphic design for a multi-million-dollar company.
Billy Myers.
And I did it in my underpants, in my bedroom, making dildo billboards. I almost got business cards because I had a gig with the Sausage Castle for like a month. They hired me to do graphic design for them, and then they fucking like never gave me any work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like instead the guy, like the dude, the Mike Busey, which they're perfectly nice people. There wasn't any like
we've talked. They've actually come up before on this show.
Yeah, they're cool people, man. But like they just wanted me to come into the fucking the compound.
Yeah.
They kept trying to like, you should come in and do the work here, and I was like, that's not the deal.
I need to be my underpants.
I don't put my pants on for shit. I'm staying home, and I'm gonna make your stupid doodles, and so it didn't work out. But at the time, like between Fair Villa and that, I was gonna get business cards that just said smut designer. It's like I found a niche.
The smut designer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to sell sex toys in your establishment? I know how to make it look nice. Photoshop, baby.
Just get a Buddy Christ on there.
Buddy Christ holding a big black dildo.
I wonder if that train is getting picked up.
I hope so. I hope they can hear that. It's a metaphor.
It is, isn't it?
It's a metaphor for how terrible this is going.
It's going well.
I assume everything's going poorly.
I know.
And then I'll listen to it later and be like, that wasn't terrible. It still wasn't good, though.
Well, out of everyone we've had on the show, you're probably up there as far as being out on the road.
Well, I mean, what?
Well, because like I've had Matt Fulcheron on, who tours across the country. He's toured all over the world with Tom Segura. But a lot of the comics I have on are like local comics, like Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami.
Yeah, but like
Savannah.
Blaylock's toured, hasn't he?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is
you had Ziola on yet?
Yeah,
He's
Ziola
done
tours.
touring.
Yeah.
Huh?
But you
Tours with Habersat.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I just got rejected
Sweet
from
boy.
his festival. That was cool.
It's all right, man. He's slept at my house, and I got rejected from his festival. Like,
no, but it is an awesome.
I mean, he's got it's a badass event. Like,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, me too.
Why
totally.
I'm not on it. Like,
Everybody's
JT. Like, I've opened for him. I've
Have you
opened
really?
for Habersat like 3 or 4 times now. Like, I've hung like when Kinane was in
Yeah.
Gainesville. It was like me and Habersat and like the girl I was dating at the time. And Kinane and the guitar player from Against Me was there.
Wow.
In just like Lucy's, closed down.
Just hanging
Nobody
out.
else was there.
How did that happen?
Because Habersatt invited me.
Oh, okay.
I was going to leave, and he was like, "Hey, man, we're all going to Lucy's, so see you over there." All right.
Cool.
Not going to say no.
Fuck yeah. Damn, man.
I know Habersatt through Fulford as well, because
Okay.
they've toured together.
Yeah. Well, it's just because you've toured longer than all of us.
Hmm?
Just because, like, even like the
Yeah,
people you mentioned,
I'm old. I've been doing this.
They do
long
tour,
time.
but you've been touring since. So you got in bands when you were 16. When did you get signed? Like, when did you start touring?
We started like when I was like 18.
Okay.
When we like that was when we really started like touring. Like we'd done some like, weekenders or like 5 days or whatever, that kind of thing. But like when I hit 18, we really started going.
So you just
harder, and then it started out like you'd go on like 2 or 3 like 10-day 2-week tours a year,
always in a van.
yeah, always in a van. And then you would like slowly progress, and by the time the band I was in that had the most success, I guess, we were touring every 6 months. We were putting 90 days on the road.
Okay. So that's what you were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
like the 30 days on the road and then 2 weeks
like
off. then
we
30.
were touring like that's 180 days a year.
Yeah,
That's more than half the year.
that's a lot.
That's and we all had like girlfriends and wives and kids and shit. It was terrible.
How was that trying to win? Because you have kids, correct?
Yeah, I have daughters because there is no God. I've paid people to murder babies.
Oh God! For a second, not really.
Take a moment. It's a thinker. That was an abortion joke.
Not a joke, though.
No, really have like 7 or 8 of them.
Oh my God!
You lose count after a while.
Jeez!
Stops mattering.
Oh my God! Blake, you're up next. Man.
4 or 5 of them were with the same woman. Like, how adamant do you have to be about not having a child with someone? Like, ugh. I'm a bad person. That's what I'm getting
That's what
at.
you're trying to say?
That's what I'm getting at.
How was it having kids and being on the road? Is that
It's hard, dude.
Yeah,
It
I was gonna
sucks.
say.
It's
Like, I'm not
brutal.
trying to,
like,
like-
well, we the crazy touring, like when we started going hard on touring, was like kind of a like a last ditch thing. Like we had hit a point where we had been doing the band a while and we'd toured some and we were kind of fucking around, and we just got to a point where it was like, look, let's take a year. 1 fucking year, we'll go hard in the paint. Like we're gonna go as hard as we possibly can, and if we're no further along, call it quits.
Yeah.
There's no harm in accepting failure. We have earned, that. My old man used to say, if you work your ass off in school, you're taking a math or science or whatever the fuck, and you study, and you bust your ass, and you make a D, and you still fail that fucking class, you earned that failure.
Yeah.
Be proud. You did the best you could. And so that was where we were at. We were like, fuck it, we'll go. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And so we started going. We had to have those conversations. And I tried to talk everybody out of it.
Did you really?
Like, I was looking, I was like, this is what is going to happen. It is going to suck. You are going to miss your family.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to be poor. We're going to, all the things. And,
But nobody was hearing it.
no,
They
they were still gung-ho. So we did the damn thing.
What happened? You left us on this cliffhanger.
It's a very long and dumb story, but the bottom line is we had been DIY with that band. We had been DIY forever. We started having management. Management didn't do a good job. Best way to keep hands out of a cookie jar is to smash it.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Smashed it. Fuck yeah. Rock and motherfucking roll.
All right, I got a positive story.
Okay.
All right.
Take us home. Positive story.
All right. So, are you familiar with the band Clutch?
No.
Okay, great band. They're from Maryland.
Everybody check it out. Clutch.
They're well known.
Yeah.
So anyway, Clutch. We went on tour with this band called 1,000 Knives of Fire. And their drummer, Kenny, he's dead now. He went to high school with their drummer. He's dead. He's dead. He's fucking dead. He was dying, and now he's dead.
Okay.
He would have laughed.
Yeah.
He was a sweet man, very good drug dealer. Anyway, so Kenny went to high school with the drummer from Clutch.
Okay.
And so we were on tour. We were stopping by Maryland. We were playing a show, and those dudes happened to be in town, so they came out.
Got it.
Then, for whatever reason, those guys really, I don't know, we're not besties or anything like that. But if they were in town, we saw them frequently.
Yeah.
If we were in Maryland and they were there, we'd go. One time, we went and ate cake with those guys at 3 a.m. Are you familiar with the show Ace of Cakes?
Yes.
Duff.
Yes.
So the secretary redhead,
Okay.
that's the singer from Clutch's sister.
Really?
Yeah. So we all end up in the Ace of Cakes warehouse.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah. Exactly as drunk as that sentence warrants. Let me tell you, fondant, not that great.
The cake.
The cake itself was delightful. The gummy fondant stuff they use instead of like just a cream frosting,
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah, I don't like it
I don't
either.
like it. I get why they use it. It's all artsy. And
Yeah, you
can
could design
shape it.
different
Yeah,
things
but
and yeah.
doesn't taste great.
No. But
Not
the
at
cake
all.
itself was good.
Yeah,
Once you got in the guts.
so that was cool.
That's awesome.
We got to hang out with we had weird things like that. We hung out with Sean Usalt
let's
from
do
White
some-
Zombie.
Let's do some more name dropping.
and Pepper from Corrosion of Conformity one time at a bar in New Orleans.
Was this when you were living in New Orleans?
No, this was just traveling through. I would book tour dates because a girl I was fucking lived out there.
Okay.
I
And you were
later
booking.
I later ended up moving out there
Okay.
for said lady.
How did that go?
Not well. My friend Danny, we were talking about some shit, and she was talking about one of her friends, and she was like, "That's life advice you need to have. You don't put your dick in crazy, and you don't move places for a partner."
You didn't listen to either.
I was like, I exclusively make those bad decisions. I moved to New Orleans for a woman. I moved to Pittsburgh
Did you really?
for a fucking woman. I moved
Pittsburgh?
to Fort Myers one time for a fucking woman. That was a terrible mistake. That's the one I regret the most. Fort Myers.
Oh man. Well,
And crazy women at that. Again, any women, that's not one of those bullshit like that bitch was crazy. Like,
no, but
they're-
you mean
most of them were good people. Like I'm crazy as well.
yeah, you
And
are
it
pretty
just
nuts.
yeah, I'm fucking batshit, bro.
Yeah.
But that's the only women who are going to date this are also crazy.
Yeah. Batshit, as it were.
Yeah.
Well, this was fun, man.
This was I feel so bad for how much editing you're gonna have to do.
I'm not editing anything.
to squeeze out a good episode of your program. I'm old. I called it a program.
The listeners know, man. They
Your
love it.
radio program is very delightful.
Well, thanks for coming on. Plug everything one more time. Where can
I
people
don't-
find you? You didn't plug anything up top. That was my fault. I was
I'm
a
not
bad
gonna.
host.
I'm not gonna plug anything at the end either. I have nothing to sell any of you. There's no podcast I run. There's no shitty comedy night for you to come out to. I'm not booked on any fucking show. Wait, isn't there that one? There's something probably happening at the Nog that I'll be at if you feel like it.
this isn't
They're
live.
not gonna hear it, but like, yeah, there's always something there. Bring me drugs. How about that? There's a plug. Give me drugs.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Billy, so much for doing the show. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll talk to y'all next week. Bonus. So I know we ended the episode, but we're coming back because as soon as we turned the mics off, Billy said, "Oh, damn, I should have told you the story about the time I robbed a hooker in Cincinnati."
Yeah, I did. I did say that.
How did that happen?
Okay, so this is a tour story. All right, here, before I say this, I told this one time on somebody's podcast, who I will not name names because we don't speak of evils. And they didn't want to air it because of how like horrible a person I am.
Really? Well, this is at the end of the episode, and
So,
it's called
okay.
Ex Drinking Buddy. Everyone knows what they're getting themselves into.
So, okay, we had been on a tour at that point for about 2 weeks. We didn't know our van was dying.
Okay.
At that point.
Yeah.
But we were losing money because, like, we were, like, I don't know, leaking gas or whatever the fuck was happening. But we were not getting, we were spending too much money.
Okay.
So we were in a bit of a dire strait at that point. We were at a shitty bar in Cincinnati. We were debating whether we were going to turn around and start heading home.
Back to Florida? Or are you gonna keep going?
Or if we were going to try and finish it off.
How much do you have left of the tour? You've already been out for 2 weeks.
2 more weeks.
2 more weeks?
Yeah. Maybe a week and a half, but that's semantics. But we play the show. I think I got so drunk that I was singing the Humpty Dance, which R.I.P. Shorty. God damn it, I'm high now. The singer from Digital Underground died recently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Fuck, now I can't remember.
Yeah, I know his fucking name, dude. I love the Digital Underground so fucking much. But anyway, yeah, please look that
I'm
up.
looking
I'm gonna
it
be
up.
embarrassed and mad.
Continue. I'll look it up.
Now I'm just lost in this. So yeah, I think I got drunk enough that I was singing the Humpty Dance while throwing bar stools at random audience members.
Throwing bar stools?
Yeah. I didn't care for
Shock
this.
G.
Shock G.
R.I.P. Shock G.
Fucking, he's a good man. So, yeah, I'm singing the Humpty Dance, throwing bar stools at audience members. Our bass player at the time, he had been flirting with a woman all night. She wasn't ugly. She wasn't good looking.
Right there in that middle sweet spot.
She was too good looking to be talking to him.
Okay.
So she says she's got to go do a thing. She's going to come back and we can crash at her house.
Oh, wow. So you really made progress.
Yeah. So that's cool. Great. They're doing their thing. She goes away. In the meantime, a homeless man has wandered into the bar and is referring him to himself in the third person. His name was Hawkeye. That's how I know his name was Hawkeye, because he always said it. Like, it's always third person, just like...
Hawkeye thinks.
Yeah. Hawkeye thinks y'all boys sound pretty good for me not running sound. And then he like throw dollar bills. He had like $1,000 in ones, even though he was homeless. It was really weird. And he won't leave at the end of the night. He won't leave. So the bar owner, Krusty, yes. So the bar owner's trying to kick him out, and he's also trying to be really nice to us at the same time, like, because he knows this wasn't a good gig for us.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just like, it's totally going to be better next time. You guys are going to be great. Just like, I hope you come back soon. And just like, and he's at the same time yelling at Hawkeye to leave. So he's like, I hope you guys are doing well, and you have a safe rest of the tour, and like, hit me up. You can come back, and get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm not going to fucking tell you again. Please, guys, just, So that happens, and eventually Krusty beats the shit out of Hawkeye.
Oh,
Just
shit.
boot stomps him.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, 70-year-old fucking homeless man. And then, like, he's watching the rest of this. Like, we've started filming it at this point.
Yeah.
Like, we had one of those, like, shitty old, like...
Shoulder mount cameras?
No, not even that fit. Like, the little handhelds.
Oh, okay.
But it was just, like, one of those shitty, like...
Grainy video, yeah.
Not great. And we're filming it at this point because it's fucking hilarious. And he's... Brothers and sisters... Everybody's just watching this happen. Brothers and sisters, Hawkeye's been accosted. You gotta help Hawkeye. Hawkeye's got $20 and says one of you will take him to White Castle.
As he's getting the shit kicked out of him?
No, this is after. He's now just
Okay.
like not leaving. So and like we thought about it because that $20 sounded good, but then we were like afraid he was gonna like see the inside of our van, which we had a better van at that. It was nice
Okay.
on the inside, and we were just like afraid he was like, ooh,
Hawkeye found a new
Hawkeye
home.
likes your couches. Where are you going? Can Hawkeye come too? Hawkeye gets lonely. Sometimes Hawkeye longs for a good book and a deep cry. Hawkeye hates Woody Allen but loves Alan Alda. Hawkeye finds this ironic. I've gotten too far with this. Finally, they get up. Like he realizes we're filming, and he's like, "Go jerk off with your faggot camera, cops!" Like,
Jesus.
yeah, and they'd had enough. They're like, "Okay, Hawkeye, you gotta go." And they
Yeah.
finally scurry him off. The lady comes back.
Oh, yeah, she said she had
Yeah,
some stuff to do.
She said that she failed a breathalyzer on the drive back, which is nice.
Yeah.
She didn't explain why the officer let her go, but I have some
Inclinations?
some theories. They involve a second breathalyzer. So she comes back, and as we're going to leave, me and like the drummer, we didn't want to go to this lady's house. We were like, this is weird. I'm not
Yeah.
good with this. And Rob is dead set on it though, because Rob doesn't get laid, so he's excited. And then Krusty, bar owner who just beat the shit out of a homeless
70-year-old
man.
homeless man.
Yeah. He looks at us and he goes, Hey guys, just be careful, okay? Cuz she's a hooker."
Oh, he straight told you.
Yeah, and we're all fucked up. We're all hammered, but like the rest of us are just clear enough to just be like, "Oh no, Rob's going to get something itchy."
Yeah.
And Rob is just like, "I'm going to bang a whore. All right. Yeah." He's like fucking in it. And so we're driving, and he gets in the car with her, and then she's fucking doing 100 miles an hour down these like fucking, and so we're trying to follow her in our shitty van, and we're getting angry about it.
Yeah.
We're like, God damn it, this is awful. And then this is how things worked. This is how you know you're bad people. Because what'll always happen in adventures is I will say something horrible, or somebody else will say something horrible.
Yeah.
And then what should follow is a no,
We can't do that.
But instead, there's an addition, like, yeah, and so, good at improv.
Good at improv.
And then the third
Horrible
person,
people good at improv.
third person should be the voice of reason now, going like, no. But instead they just go, well, I got nothing going on. So that's how That's how these things always
Spiral out of control.
Spiral out of control. And in this particular instance, we're in the van. Rob's with the hooker, and we're driving down these roads. And drummer goes, "We need to make this worth our while." That sentence is creepy.
Yeah.
So you should go, "I don't know what you're thinking, but we're not doing that."
Again, that's what you should say.
That's what you should say. But instead I said, "Let's rob her." And then our other guitar player was in the back seat, and he just did this. He just leaned into the front seats and just went, "Yes." Yes. So we get to her house, and they immediately drink all of the beers that are in her fridge.
Jeez.
She pours herself a novelty, like punch bowl sized brandy snifter. Like she's got a White Russian in that.
Yeah.
Like just a punch bowl sized White Russian. She set that on the coffee table. I'm sitting here. There's our drummer there. Her table punch bowl of White Russian. She's flirting with Rob on the couch over there. Danny's over there. They've got a fishing tackle box that is filled with weed and weed accessories.
Okay.
We smoke all of that. We do all of her drugs. Then I start ashing cigarettes into her novelty-sized White Russian. I'm just bold-faced, just tapping them in. I've smoked about 5 cigarettes doing that. Everybody's laughing. She's not paying attention.
Oh, God.
So she doesn't see it happening, but everybody else does, and it is a giggle fest. And then at one point, our drummer, because he did chewing tobacco, he does exactly what you think he does.
Oh, he doesn't.
Yeah. He grabs the bowl and he's just like, and he just like loogies all that dip loogie into her drink. Now we're dying laughing. My ribs hurt at this point. We are laughing so hard at this. She then goes like, "What's everybody laughing about?" Or is like, nothing. And she's looking at this point. Nothing. We're just kind of staring at your drink.
As you're ashing.
And I ash right into it with her looking at me. This is not my fault anymore. She could have gone, "Well, that's a dick move." And then like we
poured it out. Yeah.
Right. She didn't.
Oh, no.
She said, "Well, pass it here." And she chugs it. Oh! She chugs it like dripping down, like the whole thing.
That makes me want to throw up.
It should. It's real gross.
It's really gross.
And she did that. So, she leaves the room. We're assuming to throw up, because that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
She comes back in a new outfit. Kind of makes me think she definitely threw up. She comes back out, and in that chaos of that moment, me and Wade, I shouldn't say his name. Me and Waderin, Warren, bleep it.
I'll bleep it.
But me and that drummer, we made our plan, right? And the lady comes back out. We say, it's kind of, we need to get going.
Yeah, it's getting kind of late.
We got to drive over to Illinois. We're supposed to meet up with our friend. We got a long drive, whatever. So we start leaving. She seems bummed out in like a sad and alone kind of way. Like, just don't go. It's like Chris Farley. Except she was like Chris Farley leaving and the hooker's still there like, please don't leave me alone. Like that kind of. So we're leaving. We get out the door, and Rob, I shouldn't say his name. He won't care.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said his name this whole story.
Yeah, it's fine. I should change his name, but he's a piece of shit. He's like a 6'9" Puerto Rican dude who is afraid of everything.
Oh wow.
And mildly retarded. Functional, I guess, is
the proper term.
proper term. He's a functioning retard. Oh my God. So
You don't say they wouldn't air the episode.
I don't care about any of the words. I've been paid to say all of the
I
horrible
know.
words.
No, I'm talking about that other podcast you're talking about.
Yeah, they didn't air it. So we get outside, and Rob is pissed. He's just like, "You cock-blocking motherfuckers! You are the worst kind of scum. This is the third time you've done this kind of bullshit. I'm sick of it. I'm going to get on a Greyhound. I'm going to go home. I'm tired of this shit." And I go, "Rob, now's not the time to argue. We need to get in the van and go right now."
What's up? What happened?
We just robbed a hooker for $180.
That's all you got?
We stole it out of her purse while she was throwing up.
Oh my God.
In all that chaos, we just kind of just went, and it saved the tour.
It saved the tour.
Yeah. We leave. We get like I tell that to Rob. I'm like, "We need to get in the van. We just robbed a hooker for $180." And he's just like, "Oh shit, get in the van. Some nigga named Big Tony's gonna kill us. Run!" And it's just 5 fat people running into a van in slow motion, and then having to like Austin Powers our way
Out
of an apartment parking lot, all while still like being adrenaline down of just like, "We gotta go." We get outside the state, and the van dies because, as I'd mentioned,
it was on its last
it was
legs.
on its last legs. We didn't know it at the time, but it dies. It dies on the side of the highway. We call AAA. They're on their way. They're doing the thing. And again, this is how you know you're bad people. Somebody said, "Man, what if she realizes we robbed her and she's like coming this way to get us?"
Oh God.
And then I said, no, that's not. She just call the cops. That would be rational.
Yeah.
But instead, I said, "Yeah, man, then we could kill her and take her car."
Oh my God.
And then we all high-fived. We all just high-fived, just like, "Yeah, she's dead inside already. Fuck it, we're going to kill a whore." That's the end of that story. That's the end of this. Like the AAA guy got there a little while later, and I had peed on the tire of the van, and he just laid in a puddle of it while he figured out what was wrong. And I just kept going
God.
like, "Hey guys, remember what was there a second ago? He's laying in my pee."
Billy, you truly are.
I'm a bad person. I'm the devil.
Oh, well, I'm glad we turned the mics back on for that. That was a good story.
I skate by on charm. I am seriously a bad person.
Well, thank you again for doing the show. I'm glad we turned the mics back on.
All right, fair enough. Now you've got a good story that is going to get me in so much trouble.
So much trouble.
I'm cancel proof. I'll say it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.